I just found that this was uploaded to YouTube. Let's go ahead and watch it.
My name is Karon Wiggins, and this is my story. I work at Inland Regional Center in San Bernardino, and on December 2nd, 2015, our building was attacked. That day was just like any normal day. Our fire alarm went off, and we all proceeded to go outside like we normally do during a fire drill. When I went outside, I was met by two frantic coworkers who began screaming at us to get back in the building and that there's an active shooter.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're outside the building. Co-workers come up and say there's an active shooter, and you run back into the building. I mean, I can kind of understand that in a way, and at the same time, I can't. But this is something that's been bothering me for a while. Notice how they keep saying active shooter. Who says that? Especially if it's happening. If somebody's shooting up the place, do you run and say, there's an active shooter? There's an active shooter. Who says that? And I'm going to be honest with you. I really, I don't understand people going back into the building. I don't understand people hiding in the, that maybe I'm different, but I'm getting the hell out of there, one way or the other. I just don't understand it.
Right now. Immediately, I grabbed my coworker's arm and began to plead the blood of Jesus. I began to pray, and we went back upstairs. There was still a lot of confusion, and people didn't believe it, so they tried to send us back outside.
So people didn't believe it. There's a lot of confusion. They tried to send us back outside. Who's they?
We were more calm as we thought it was an active shooter training.
An active shooter training. So you notice she hasn't said anything about hearing gunshots. Nothing.
So we went to our office. I have a window in my office. At that point, I saw the helicopters, the squad cars, and SWAT team. Still not believing that it was real.
Again, still not believing that it was real. That it's real. I would think if you were hearing gunshots, that you would probably know it's real.
As we waited, my boss finally called us and immediately told us that we needed to get on the floor now and hide. At that point, things got a little more real. I sat my office mate down as she was panicking, and I told her we needed to pray. We sat down on the floor and prayed and asked the Lord to protect us.
You see how she just messed up? They should have prayed. It's almost like a script. And you know, maybe she's reading it. You know, I don't know what's really going. If there's something that she's reading from, it kind of sounds like that. It sounds really scripted, and that doesn't mean it's not real. It doesn't mean she's not saying what happened, and it doesn't mean she's not telling the truth. But it's just really scripted.
And to protect our offices, our coworkers, and our families. At that point, we got up and began to barricade ourselves in the door.
Okay, but you were already outside at one point. You could have left.
With anything that we could move, our chairs, our desk, and found anything we could make as weapons just in case something was happening. Our coworker called us from next door, panicking, telling us that there was a shot victim 2 doors down from us in our boss's office.
And you didn't hear that?
And we just assumed that whoever was shooting was pretty much coming to our office.
Okay, she said whoever is shooting. Fine, but she's never really said, I heard shots. You know, at this point, she's just assuming somebody's shooting, right? Because everybody's telling her somebody's shooting. But she's never said she heard shots.
At that point, my office mate, I told her, as she was worried for her kids and her safety, I told her that God had promised me some things in my life and that He had a plan for me. And I told her because He's not done with me, that He's not done with her. And I told her that we're not going to die today and things will be okay. So we just continue to barricade ourselves, pray, call our families to tell them we love them.
Did you call 911? Did anybody call 911? Where's all the 911 calls? Am I the only one missing this? I mean, everybody's texting each other. Where's the 911 calls?
We waited in our offices, and finally we were able to find the news on Google that it was more serious than we thought.
Find the news on Google. You just saw the cops pull up and helicopters all over the place, and people's calling you saying people are dead in offices. I mean, did you not get it by then?
We were devastated, but I continued to pray, pacing the floor, asking God to be with me. About 30 minutes later, they let us out. We still didn't know who was calling us out, but we came outside or came out of our offices and went downstairs with our hands up, and were met by about 50 or 60.
Did you catch that? She said we went outside. And that, I don't understand why that wasn't appropriate, because you did go outside eventually. But she switched back and had to tell like the story of it, almost like those were talking points. Like she skipped over some talking points and she realized it, and she had to go back and explain it more.
The SWAT team officers, and that's when we finally knew that we were safe at that point, and we were led outside to safety and to other police officers to be interviewed. I just feel blessed that even though some of my people didn't make it and some people that I know didn't make it, I'm blessed to know that God protected us.
But they didn't protect the other ones.
And kept us safe, the ones on our floor. And I'm just grateful to God to be able to share my testimony with other people of God's saving grace. And that in our times of trouble, that He will be with us. And we can call.
Okay, I can't take it anymore. What's up with all this? Did all the Christians in California work there? I mean, I didn't know there was that many Christians in California. Now, of course, I'm exaggerating and kidding, but have you noticed this praying angle and the Christian angle? It's kind of be pushed down your throat a little bit.
Call out to Him when no one else is there. I'm just thankful.
I gotta be honest, it's just bizarre. The whole thing's bizarre. You go outside, somebody says active shooter. Nobody talks like that. Then you go back inside the building where you're a cornered rat. It doesn't make any sense. If I'm outside and somebody says there's an active shooter on campus, I'm getting the hell out of there. And even the Washington Post at one point in an article says that they went out, they thought it was a fire drill, which I don't know how you would think it was a fire drill if the fire, okay, whatever, so they think it's a fire drill. They go back in, and then the Washington Post says they almost went back out. It's just bizarre. And nobody's hearing shots? What? She never once said she heard shots. This makes no sense at all.